enjoy your day. But if you're looking for a way to look smarter, to look more fashionable, you've got to visit any Woodin boutique nationwide today. Woodin offers you amazing collections of authentic African fabrics and ready-to-wear clothes that come in beautiful designs and colors for both men and women. With Woodin, you can get creative, you can get versatile with all the designs available. Be confident and show off how truly African you are in Woodin. So go to a Woodin boutique today and choose from a variety of trendy products to complement your awesome style. Follow Woodin today on Woodin Fashion, Facebook, Instagram, across platforms at Woodin Fashion, and on TikTok, Woodin_fashion. Woodin, le créateur. Now, next, we have a big one.
Yes,
we have a
birthdays, those of you celebrating your birthdays, and of course, we're here to help you celebrate your birthday. So let's see, okay, Chief Alfarian. Wow, your life and ministry has benefited lives globally. May God bless you. Lydia Fawcett.
Yes. Lydia Fawcett! Happy birthday, Lydia Fawcett! Lydia Fawcett brings us kinky matters and all things good because you matter. Happy birthday, my darling. I love you so much.
Yeah, God bless you. We have Abbas wishing you best years ahead from your sister, Lad Jibril. Mrs. Patience Jackson, you are blessed from Dr. Kobe King. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Elizabeth Tiwa, God bless you from your family. Young lady, happy birthday. Titi, it's been grace, mercy, and favor from day one. God bless you. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Mr. Francis Palmer Quist, we love you so much from your family. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Richard Formana, we wish you long life and good health. Happy birthday to you, sir. Lelian Yakubu, may God bless your new age from Nesty. Benis Dovlo, cheers to greatness from Imelda. God bless you. Sandra, a nurse at 37 Military Hospital, Polyclinic Department. Happy birthday to you, Sandra. Ruben, may the good Lord bless and keep you. Happy birthday. Mr. John Amwakun Simmons, happy birthday. Wishing you abundant life and blessings. Mrs. Martha Vioto, may God bless your new age. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Caroline Aso Osei, God bless your new age. Happy birthday, Caroline. Mona Lisa Mami Ajuanate, happy birthday, young lady. May your day be filled with laughter. Dr. Emmanuel Amankra, happy birthday to you, sir. Pastor Divine Agovi, happy birthday to you, sir. Blessing, sir. Wow, happy birthday to you, Blessing. Ruth Pra Asumda, happy birthday to you, madam. Bernard Alote, God bless your new age. Happy birthday, sir. Perpetual Oses Safu, happy birthday to you, ma'am. Salome Bejeha, aka Sister Mago, from your friends, happy birthday. Perpetual Oses Safu of Queen of Heaven Academy, from your secret admirer. Okay, have a fruitful day, ma'am. Happy birthday. And that's it for the birthdays, but we did promise you that we've got that exclusive with E.S Okraku, an exclusive interview with the GFA president. So, yes, stay with us and watch through the interview.
There's never a dull moment in Ghana football. One moment, things are nice and bright. The next moment, things looking all gloomy. And it's been pretty much the story of Ghana football in the last few years. In 2024, the Black Stars failed to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time in 20 years. Then in 2025, the Black Stars have qualified for the World Cup for the third time in 6 attempts. This year, the Black Stars have not lost a single game. They've played 8, won 7, and drawn 1. The result, a place at the FIFA World Cup. In addition, the Ghana Premier League has a new arrangement that's made clubs better off than they ever were. And women's football continues to thrive, with the Black Queens looking in great shape and more Ghanaian players born outside opting to represent them more than ever before. Across board, there seems to be a lot happening in the sport. But as always, there are questions that remains. One, about the quality of the league. Two, about whether the windfall for the Black Stars trickles down well enough. And four, about whether the Black Stars will go to the World Cup and make any meaningful impact. There are those who also want to discuss without ending the relationship between the Ghana Football Association and the Sports Ministry. And of course, there is the never-ending conversation about Coach Otuado. So I'm hoping to get answers to all the issues that I've raised with Kurt Edwin Simon Okraku, President of the Ghana Football Association, Second Vice President of the Confederation of African Football, and recently elected as the chairman of the FIFA Anti-Racism Committee. I wanted to, first of all, start from, because I was chatting to the lady in charge of women's football. The princesses are in action, the queens are playing in Egypt and the rest. I'm just wondering what you've made of literally the upsurge in women's football activity over the last few years, and what you will be expecting when those two games happen.
Well, I think that way back in 2019, I made a firm commitment to the female football community that I was going to give them my support, to throw my weight behind their vision, and to ensure that they get the needed attention and resources that they deserve. Because clearly, there's always been a big potential in the female sport. So fast forward, one of the things that we did obviously was to give them the attention that they so deserve, to get them more engaged, to listen to them, and to provide the basic and primary resources for them to be able to actualize their dreams. I think that over time, investments at varied levels are beginning to pay. The last investment has been our commitment towards the introduction of U15 leagues across the country, because prior to that, if a young girl wants to pursue a career in football, if she's a 6-year-old girl, or she's a 10-year-old girl, or a 12-year-old girl, she has to start from the national first division, which is unheard of, you know what I mean? So we have introduced the U15 leagues across the country. Greater Accra, I think Bono Afo and the northern region being the key pace setters in this exercise. We've also enrolled the girls into the national talent identification scheme that we are currently having with FIFA. And then also we introduced the GFA elite academies in the Upper East for boys and girls. In the South here, Achimota School for boys and girls, and in the Middle Belt, Prempeh College specifically for boys. And in the girls category, obviously, once the talents are identified, they find themselves in the academies, which is fully funded by FIFA and our good selves. Then on the national front, giving more energy to the Women Division 1, the creation of the age-specific female national teams being part of the key broad strategy, and then also making sure that our Black Queens get the resources to be able to prepare for tournament. So last year, for example, the FA found resources and supported the Queens. They had trainings camp in Boko, trainings camp in Senegal, trainings camp in La Côte d'Ivoire, and eventually they brought bronze to Ghana. When we come to the Premier League, I mean, enough visibility. The result being that talents are being identified, these girls are getting opportunities to play abroad, to the extent that at the minute we have about 90%, 95% of the Black Wing players playing abroad. This is crazy. And once you're playing in more established jurisdictions, there's better facilities, so to say. You are more motivated, more contact hours for the players, and the result is that we're getting a lot more quality. The result is what we see. The Black Queens have become attractive. The Black Princesses, always very dominant in that age category. The Black Maidens are now back in competition again after we were banned. by FIFA, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. We already took them on a training tour to Malta.
My next question basically sort of boxes in both the girls' football and boys' football, because I noticed last week, off the back of the World Cup qualification, you held an interaction with the Honorable Minister for Education. How big is it for you that you are able to find a channel through schools? Because these days everybody's going through the schools. We know that women's football's growth in more established countries dominantly has to happen through schools. What's the sort of collaboration you are hoping to get through that channel, in order that whilst you set up the under 15 leagues across board and the rest, you are still able to channel a lot of this football development through the formal school structure in Ghana?
So given our current educational system, almost every child is in school. And therefore, as an FA, it's very important for us to identify where our intangible assets can be found. And they can be found in the schools. For which reason, it was important for me to engage the sector minister. Incidentally, he happens to be a very good friend in Honorable Haruna Idrisu. And he's very much committed towards offering opportunities for boys and girls from the school. So the plan is very specific. We need to re-energize schools football. And this is a commitment he has made. We need to create structured pathways for our boys and girls in the school, especially the girls in the schools, to be able to pursue the academic careers and also to pursue football. And once that is done, once they have more contact hours, once we are educating the coaches in the schools, I think that we'll be able to find the right talents who represent Ghana. Fortunately for us, through the kind courtesy of the Mosepe Foundation, we have the schools championship. So there's competitions for these boys and girls to show their quality. And once they go on those platforms and show quality, they will then have a clear pathway going to the U17s, U20s, and the Black Queens. And then we have a clear and very, very well-structured career pathways for our players. So I'm very much interested in this partnership with the educational sector. The Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Sports and Recreation are key partners on this journey. And I think that the leadership of the FA is keen on pursuing this agenda.
In my intro, I said that sometimes Ghana football is like a pendulum. One moment all things are going great, and then the next moment not so. So the contrast is last year, failure to qualify for the Nation Cup, a bit of difficulty.
I don't even want to remember this.
I know the complexities with the running of the league and its television exposure. And then in the next year, nominated for CAF National Team of the Year, 8 games, 7 wins, 1, back at the World Cup and the rest. Describe for me your own personal sense as the one who leads this charge, what the last 2 years has been specifically like.
It's been two distinct periods, to say, but I've always known this, and I said this in 2019 when I was offered a chance to serve, that the road ahead of us will be muddy, will be tough, but as leaders of the sport, we'll be united in going through the tough moments. I mean, given what I thought I knew and given what I came to know, I was very clear that we needed to work more than 24 hours a day to be able to fix our football. So we knew we'll go through turbulence, we know we'll have failures, but we also knew that there will be moments that we'll share in the glory. And 2024 was by far a more, or perhaps the most challenging year for us, where our Black Stars especially did not only fail at the AFCON, performed abysmally at the AFCON, and also did not qualify for the AFCON slated for Morocco. Yes, the U20 boys and girls gave us some hope, but we had challenges across the board. But we kept working. We believed in the faith. We believed in our way, and we are here in 2025, and it's a complete 360 U-turn. I mean, our Premier League, the GPL, like I declared, is the best by far this season, offering what has never been offered to our football clubs in this country. When I watch our GPL on TV, I was like, am I watching football from abroad? But it is produced in Ghana. Our Division 1 League clubs receiving amazing support like never before, whether through football boots strategy, new bus acquisition strategy, or cash incentives, our partnership with Goyle, our partnership with Melcom, provision of jerseys, full payment of referee and officiating fees for clubs. There cannot be a golden era like we are currently having as a club owner at the Division 1 level. When it comes to the Women Premier League level, it's almost the same, you know. And then you see a resurgence in the performance or results by our national teams. Our U17 boys have qualified for the AFCON after missing the AFCON for close to 8 years, which was a terrible period for us. Our U20 boys have done us proud, winning the All-African Games, going to the AFCON again and exiting at the quarterfinals. Unfortunately, couldn't go to the World Cup, but that was a big progress by the team, led by the then head coach, Desmond Ofe. The Black Stars back at the Mundial, 2 times on the trot. We all forget that in 2018 we didn't make it to the Mundial, and people take this for granted. But we are back at the highest level of world football, and with an amazing record. I mean, the current coach playing 8 games, not losing any game, winning 7 and drawing 1. Perhaps one of the cleanest and most interesting campaign by far by this Blasters group in a while. But in saying this, let me give absolute and good credit to the new leadership of the team, led by Captain Jordan Ayew, supported by Thomas Partey, Alexander Jiku, and Kudus Mohammed. They've done an amazing job. I mean, creating that comradeship, the feeling of belonging to the country, the desire to go the extra mile to die for the country. I mean, I was at the stadium a few days ago to watch us play against Comoros. In one moment of the game, Sibo lost the ball and just play back the action, what he did, how he reacted. That tells you the desire of these boys to do the extra for Ghana. And I've always said that I've had a chance of leading Ghana for the past 6 years. I've never had a group of disciplined footballers who want to die for our country like we currently have. It's a group of players who love the shirt and who wants to go the extra mile. And I'm extremely happy about how things have worked out. And in saying this, Michael, let me say thank you to the President of our country, President John Dramani Mahama, for his leadership, for his interest in football, and for his desire to see not only my leadership, but the leadership of football in this country to do well. And in saying this also, I need also to mention the former Minister of Sports, Mama Yariga, for his concern and his interest in what we do here. The Sector Minister, Honorable Kofi Adams, the Speaker of Parliament, who has always been like a godfather, calling me day and night, offering pieces of advice. I mean, the kind of concern that we have received from officialdom at the highest level of governance in this country has been unprecedented. And I'll say this without fear or favor, because I always say this, and I pride myself, I'm a leader who doesn't fear to speak the truth. And I'm very grateful for all the support they are offering football in our country.
The league is it's a particularly interesting one. Maybe last year is the most turbulent period in terms of exposure to TV, and we all know how worldwide TV is the significant driver of the growth of the league. So whilst the Adisa production arrangement has come in and there's more exposure to TV and a certain desire to even expand it further, there is still played into empty stadiums and that sort of thing. How are you hoping to fix this?
Okay, so I think that first of all, I'm very happy about our partnership with Adesa Productions. And in saying this, again, let me say thank you to government for creating the enabling atmosphere and encouraging Adesa Productions to be interested in the domestic game and encouraging both the private and the public sector to be interested in domestic football. This is work in progress. The TV visibility is adding value to club operations and what we do at the FA, but it also behoves on all of us to stand up to the changing times. We're in a new era. Yesterday, I called it the emerging golden era for the Ghanaian game. It's important for all club owners, club leaders, executives to stand up to the test, to do our part. Our responsibility is to make sure that we produce good teams. Our team turn up well, and most importantly, we roll out strategies that will bring the 12th man back to the stadium, whether they are passive fans, whether they are new fans, whether they are fans who have been neglected or feel neglected by club owners, by players, by all active players in this football space. It's our responsibility to bring them back. And the FA will lead the push. We're going to push every club in the Premier League, in the Division 1 League, in the Women's Premier League, to go the extra mile and bring in our 12th man back. Because the live audience at the match venues are very important for us to be able to bring in the extra resources that we need. The TV audience is important, but believe me, I'm better off being part of the live audience than to be a TV audience. Yeah. And I'll forever encourage our clubs to be proactive. For far too long, club owners think solely about the 3 points on the pitch. Yeah. But to develop a football industry, you need to think beyond 3 points on the pitch. And the loads of things that we have to do to ensure that we create the vehicles that will bring in the needed inflows that football needs. Because without the 12th man, you can't make money in football.
There will be a big test of not just the popularity, but the production, everything when Hearts plays Kotoko. It's always like the big test for everyone.
No, when Hearts play Dreams FC.
I know, but I've already seen promotional artworks on the Super Clash, which highlights just how much a lot rides on it. What are you hoping to see in that game?
First of all, I think that the football season has started on a high, much higher than it has started in the last few seasons. Mm-hmm. And everybody in our country has taken notice of this. The two clubs in question are inclusive of those who have taken notice of how high we have started the season. Both clubs have had varied fortunes after match day 6. But all of us know that contest between Hearts of Oak and Kotoko belongs to a different world. Yeah. Okay? And that world will be replayed when the two teams line up at Accra Sports Stadium. I know that at the minute Kotoko are concentrated on their African campaign, but once they are back home, they will clear some of their games and they will refocus their energy and their attention on the Super Clash. The Super Clash will be the must-go game. The FA, working with all our partners, will push or will put our weight behind this and we'll make it a must-watch game. I'll be there to watch. I'll be in a special apparel. I will not disclose how I'm going to look like. But this is a game I want to see Hearts of Oak fans turn out in their millions. I want to see fans of Krobia, Kumasi, Asante Kotoko turn out in their millions. Let's go back to the year 2004, the Confederations Cup, Accra Sports Stadium, Kumasi Sports Stadium. Let's imagine the euphoria, the atmosphere. Stadium. This is what we expect. And we're going to do whatever it takes to bring the love back to this tie. This is the Super Clash. This is the must watch. In fact, it will be an unmissable game, okay? And I expect every stakeholder in this strategy space to play their part. If you're If you're a female and you've not watched the Super Clash before, this is your time. This is the chance. If you've never worn a Kotoko apparel or House of Folk apparel and you're a girl, you're a woman, this is the time for all of us to be at Accra Sports Stadium. I want us to repeat the atmosphere that we saw in the last game of the Black Stars when we played against Comoros. And I think that even this Super Clash has a much bigger pull power than even what we witnessed. And believe me, it's going to be a Super Clash.
So whilst we spoke about a year where everything has improved, there's still a few blot areas. And what I'm going to ask next is not purely a function of the GFA, but something that mainly, if you could call it an allied function. At the moment, Accra, Kumasi Asante Kotoko played the African Cup game in Accra. BBN Gold Stars had to do the same thing. There's only one stadium of acceptable standard in a country that has one in Tamale, in Sekondi, in Cape Coast, and across board. How concerned are you about the Football Association, and how do you think this needs to be fixed long term? Because for a country of Ghana's size, it cannot be that you have only one stadium.
So Michael, I'm extremely worried. First of all, because I sit on the board of CAF as a vice president. I sit on the committee of FIFA as a chairman of one of the most important committees. And I see my country struggle to play important games on our home soil. It is very worrying.
Yeah.
My source of encouragement has been the public declaration by the president of our country that he's going to make investments in our football infrastructure. Mm-hmm. I know that plans are well advanced to not only fix the existing stadia facility. I know Esipon, for example, is close to being finished. Yeah. For those of you who've not had a chance to visit Esipon, take a trip to Esipon and you would appreciate that work is being done. But there are loads of stadia in our country that does not meet the standards. I mean, go to the Cape Coast Stadium, it's a problem. You go to Barbara Sports Stadium, it is a problem. You go to Tamale, but for the investments done by Haruna Idrisu, Karela wouldn't have been able to play there. You come to the Accra Sports Stadium, it's problematic, you know, and therefore the commitment by the current government to fix our stadia is very encouraging. But we need to fix all existing stadia, and we need to build new ones. Ghana is a superpower in football. We belong to that top hierarchy when it comes to the superpowers of football. And when it is that our clubs, for example, Krobia, Kumasi, Asante cannot play at the Barbara Sports Stadium, it is a minus for us. When it is that House of Folk is traveling from one stadia to the next stadia to honor league games, it is a big problem. Okay, and I think that as a country, we need to look at sports or football infrastructure with a professional eye that it deserves, and give it the attention that it deserves. And I think that will give the government all the support they need, the technical support that they need to be able to make the right investment in our football infrastructure. I mean, it is now or never, to be honest.
All my questions was trying to build up to all the conversations about the Black Stars, by the way. But I saw you on the day against Comoros, and I saw you dancing to the Shatawale song.
Oh my God. It was extremely special. Not for me as an individual, but the fact that as a collective, we brought happiness to 30 million plus Ghanaians who deservingly deserve this kind of happiness. We have thousands and perhaps more than thousands of people in the hospitals who need a source of inspiration and happiness. And this inspiration and happiness can always be delivered by football. And on that day, we sent hope to millions of homes, into hospitals, into care homes, into broken homes. People had a moment to be happy, to celebrate, and to think about the fact that our Black Stars did not only play good football, but qualified to the Mondial in a grand style. I mean, 4 years ago we did qualify, but it was a very, very difficult one. 3.5 years down the line, the team not only completely dominated the group, but delivered the final ticket on home soil. And the turnout by Ghanaians really pushed the adrenaline levels of every player, every Tenkra team member to perform in a way and manner that Ghanaians love to see their Black Stars perform. I know that for the thousands of people who were in the stadium, they were very expectant of 3 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, because all of a sudden, the Black Stars are scoring 5 goals in games, home and away. You know, but for us, the job had to be done. The vision was to qualify Ghana to the Mondial. 0-0 was a good scoreline for us. 1-0 was a good scoreline for us. A win, at the end, we set out not to lose the game. Okay, and you could read the mind of the coach, how he set out the team, not to lose the game, knowing very well that a win for Mali on the other side of the divide will also take Ghana to the Mondial. And at the end, they achieved it in a classy way. And I'll say thumbs up to Coach Otto Addo. I've always believed in him. I've always trusted that he's the guy with patience will take Ghana to the promised land. As human as he is, he'll get some decisions wrong, just like I've gotten loads of decisions wrong in my time as an FA president. Just like I've gotten loads of decisions right in my time as a FA president. As a head coach, he's gotten some decisions right, he's gotten some decisions wrong. But 2 times on the trot, the guy has qualified Ghana to the Mondial. I think people have to understand this. For me, Otto is a hero. The Tenkra team have done an amazing job to bring Ghana to this level 2 times on the trot. When we were in Qatar, Ghana paraded perhaps the youngest team at the World Cup. And this young team carried the flag of Ghana at that time. 3.5 years down the line, a lot of these young boys have matured. And you can see what's happening. Look at Kudus 4 years ago. Look at Kudus today. Okay, so it's been work in progress. It's been good leadership, believing in the vision, and getting everybody to support the vision. And once we have succeeded in bringing Ghana back to this world stage, we should be happy and pat everybody in the back. But in saying this, qualification brings more challenges. It brings more trouble, in quotes.
Yeah.
Now, the clarion call is that we have to go to the World Cup and bring the trophy. I walk on the streets of Accra, and especially during my morning walks, and you meet people and say that, look, President, you have to win the World Cup. And I said, thank you, pray for us. Okay, and
do you think it's achievable?
Once you go through the group stage, anything is possible in football. Okay, I mean, 2 years ago, was it 1 year ago, we were in Cote d'Ivoire. 89 minutes into a game, Ghana had qualified to the next stage of the AFCON. 89 minutes. Ghana was leading 2-0. La Cote d'Ivoire were on their way out of the tournament. 4 minutes of time added on, the scoreline was 2-2. Ghana out of the AFCON. Cote d'Ivoire had qualified Cote d'Ivoire went all the way to become African champions. Think about it. This is football. So in football, anything is possible. Draws can favor you, and I'm praying. I've already started fasting. That on the 5th of December, when the draw is conducted, Ghana gets a favorable group, a favorable pathway. You never know what is going to happen. Our responsibility is to make sure that we support the Tenkara team. They get the best of preparations. The boys should be in the best frame of mind and be ready for the Mundial. We know it will be very challenging, but I think there are big lessons that we have learned over time. Me as a leader, for the first time I had a chance to lead Ghana to a World Cup campaign in Qatar. That was my first experience. I've learned big lessons from that. Some of the mistakes that I made will never be repeated.
What are some of those?
You want to know?
Yeah, I'm interested in knowing. I'm interested in knowing what you would do differently this time from
yes, but
that.
It's just like when, what example should I give? I mean, it's just like when you're offered the job as an MD of Media General.
Yeah.
And you've never been an MD before. You have your own mindset. When you enter the room, you hold your first engagement, and then you will see a different picture unfolding. Okay, I think that we'll be looking holistically at what we did. We're going back to all the notes that we took in Qatar, from team preparations to the intangible assets to the Tenkara team, how we worked, the logistics. Everything that was done. What I can tell you for a fact is that our Tenkara team will be ready. Our Tenkara team will be enhanced, for sure. This I can promise. It will not be the same personnel that you will see at the World Cup representing Ghana. The coach has the chance to really look at the playing body to see which players will be good enough for Ghana, barring any injuries, God forbid. And the entire operations of Ghana will change. Sometimes we hide behind there's no money, and we shortchange ourselves by taking mediocrity to tournaments. This will not happen again. This I'm very sure about. Players who have not shown enough commitment towards the Ghanaian flag will not be part of us. There must be good reasons why a player will be part of the traveling party. I want players who show high level of dedication, who show passion, and who show respect for Ghana, to represent Ghana. For me, as a leader, I don't really care about what anybody says. At the end, it's me. And at the end, I'm responsible for Ghana. And if it is that, I just want to repeat what the coach said. If we have approached you before, if you have turned down Ghana before, if you have not shown respect to Ghana, your country, before, count yourself out. It's not going to happen.
You bring me nicely to that subject about player additions and all that. I mean, as far as I can remember from 2007 with Quincy Owusu-Abeyi, then the 2010 World Cup with, I think it was Kevin Prince Boateng. This has been a recurring issue. Do you sort of feel like it's time for Ghana to make a definite moral stand on how to approach this subject?
Okay, so to be honest, and to start from this standpoint, I am, and we are quite fair. And most often we treat issues case by case basis. And I use my son, Kurt Jr., as a case study. Kurt is born in England. He's schooling in England. Assuming he's an Abedi Pele, for example, I would not want to deprive him of the chance to play for Ghana because he was born in England. Okay. However, if Kurt Jr. wants to play for Ghana, he has to show that he loves Ghana, and he has to show that he respects Ghana, and he has to show that he's committed to Ghana. Fortunately for Kurt Jr., he visits Ghana every year, so he doesn't belong to that category. I'm using my son as a case study. I don't want mercenaries to come to Ghana. I don't want people just to jump on the ship because we've qualified for the Mondial. I want players who love Ghana, who play from their heart with passion, and who would want to represent Ghana in all competitions. So yes, I've been very, very categorical that if you have refused us in the past, if you've not shown respect to us in the past, I will not open the door because we have qualified for the Mondial. I don't care about what the coach with passion and who would want to represent Ghana in all competitions. So yes, I've been very, very categorical that if you have refused us in the past, if you've not shown respect to us in the past, I will not open the door because we have qualified for the Mondial. I don't care about what the coach wants to do. He has his preference, just like any other person. But as a principled person,
this is a policy position of the Ghana Football Association.
It is. I mean, you have to show beyond reasonable doubt that you want to play. You are committed towards the national flag. You are proud to be a Ghanaian. But
I keep asking myself, what is the tangible way of proving that? Is it merely by the fact that you were asked in the past and you didn't show up, or is by
look? There's somebody called Alexander Jiku. Mm-hmm. There's somebody called Inaki Williams. Mm-hmm. There's Antoine Semenyo. There's Tariq Lamptey. Just to mention a few. These are all Ghanaians who, by virtue of movements of their parents, were not born here on home soil, but were born abroad. There are some who willingly reach out to the FA, I want to play for my motherland. And you can see Jiku as a case study. Just to mention a few.
Good enough to get into that French team, I think.
Yes. But if you, again, through no fault of yours, you were born abroad and you are indecisive, or you show any signal that you look down on Ghana, Otto Addo will never pick you. Because Otto, as a coach, is so strong on this. If you show disrespect to the red, yellow, and green with a black star in the middle, no chance.
I'm glad that you mentioned the Inaki example, and I'll go back to a few things. But Inaki, for instance, and Tariq Lamptey even switched up and played for us before the 2022 World Cup. And have they shown their dedication through showing up and going to Chad, going here? Because whatever the case is, for the upcoming World Cup, there will still be players who did not take part in the qualifiers and the rest, but
which is normal.
Which is normal. Yeah. So this is basically like sometimes a long-term thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So for those category of players that we have discussed, it's unfortunate I had to mention names, but there's never been a moment where these players are fit and they will say, I'm not playing. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Never. And I'll use Inaki Williams as a case study. Inaki's mom is like Yaya Santua of those years. She's extremely passionate about Ghana. The dad is extremely passionate. Inaki and Nico is even worse. Okay, Nico is just shall I say, he was attacked in court because Inaki declared, and eventually Spain had to react. Yeah. Okay, but these are boys who love the country, and they play from their hearts. I know that the game of scouting has changed a lot over time. You look at Morocco, you look at Comoros, you look at Cape Verde, they are catching the super talents from age 6. Some of them are taking these super talents to academies in Europe, in England, for example. They are being offered football tuition. They are being brought back to represent their countries. Unfortunately, we are handicapped a bit. We don't seem to cut them much early.
Where is our handicap? Is our handicap
in resources? In resources.
And is this purely financial resources?
It's resources, because if we reach out to the young boys and girls early, they will grow just like with our Academy Young Referee strategy. They will grow within the Ghanaian culture. The sense of belongingness will be there, and then they will be proud to represent Ghana or to choose Ghana.
How are you hoping to fix this?
It is a problem, to be honest with you. And 2 days ago, I was with the Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Ablakwa, and we spoke about football diplomacy and everything connected to the subject we are talking about. And it's very important for us to look at how we can reach out to these Ghanaian boys and girls born in the diaspora through no fault of theirs, who may have the right levels of skill set and who can represent Ghana. And in saying this, we're not only talking about footballers. I mean, we brought Desmond Ofer from Belgium.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the talents we have.
I noticed the physical trainer grew up in London.
Exactly, exactly. So we're looking for quality across board, footballers inclusive. But in doing this, it's also important we develop the domestic game. And the current happenings speak to the big effort by the leadership of the FA in developing the domestic game, in giving visibility to the domestic game, and making sure that players who play locally also have the belief that they can compete at any level. Okay, Benjamin Asari has shown that when given the chance, he can compete. Let's go back to yesteryears, the likes of Amar Senegal, Salif Wansa, may he rest in peace, and co, playing the domestic. Habib, Sheila Eliasu competed at the highest level of football when they were competing for King Faisal and Kotoko, etc. So it can be done. It can be done, and it takes good team effort, clear vision, support, logistics in terms of logistics to get everybody in tune with what we have to do. And again, I'm saying that Morocco has shown it, Cape Verde have shown it, Comoros have shown, and a lot more. That look, if you strategically limit your scouting enterprise to domestic leagues, you'll be losing out on super
Senegal
talents.
and the rest. Senegal is hugely dominated by, and even Ivory Coast actually.
Yeah. So we have to be strategic in this and look at the key niche areas that we need. So for example, I'm very quick to react when I receive a phone call that there's a striker somewhere. Yeah. For example,
because it's a problem area.
It's a problem area. Okay, and I mean, we just had a meeting with my team here who are responsible for the GFA elite academies and what my expectations are of them, because this is a key strategy by the FA in talent identification and talent development and making sure that we provide solutions to those key need areas. We don't have goal scorers in our country. If it's about centre backs, we do have. But look, all of a sudden, we can't find fullbacks.
Yeah.
For example,
especially in the way the modern football is played.
It's played.
Yeah.
You know. So we are on the right way. We need more support from the private sector. We need more investment, and hopefully, the new wind that is blowing, ushering us into the next phase of the golden generation, which I spoke about yesterday, will push everybody into believing that football is an amazing vehicle. Companies, both private and public, can rely on for achieving company goals and strategic vision. And football, believe me, whether good or bad, is strategically the best way to go.
When you spoke about you seem pretty passionate about who has respect for the flag and who are. I'm just wondering, and when I was speaking to the coach as well last week, I got a sense that the GFA generally has had a bit of a lot of banner experiences in trying to convince players to play for Ghana. Has it been that bad?
I wouldn't say it's been that bad, I would say sometimes it is challenging, okay? Because, for example, I wouldn't want to mention the name of a player, but if me have to undertake 4 trips to Europe, 4 trips to meet a player and to speak about the potential of representing Ghana, that is me, then that should be more than enough. Okay, I don't even want to talk about what the coach or the attempts by the head coach.
And this is 4 trips to a specific player.
Yes, to a specific player. I don't want to talk about even how many meetings the coach has had with that player. I don't want to talk about meetings by perhaps even other people within the space.
And sometimes high-ranking government officials.
Yeah, exactly. Then for me, it's enough. Okay, because I remember in one of the meetings I said that, look, Ghana would never be represented by 10 men on the pitch. It will be 11v11. For me, my message is very clear, and I'm very strong about this. Okay, if there's a Lionel Messi somewhere, we want to go after the Lionel Messi. But believe me, Messi must show that he loves Ghana, and he must show that he wants to go the extra mile to play for our dear country. Whatever has happened in the past has happened, but we've come to a point where I'm so firm in my belief that if you don't show that extra passion for Ghana, you're out.
What do you think has been the major drawback to the major cause of hesitation, you think?
I think well, if I have to find one reason, I'll say no. But I think that, okay, naturally, people are born in other cultures. So, for example, again, I use my son. He's born in England. He's born in Manchester.
Socialization and everything.
Everything, his friends and everything is different, okay? And unfortunately, some of them do not come back home to Ghana. And all that they know about Ghana is what they read via social media and on TV. And most often, it's all negatives they read. And it's like, oh, Dad, where are we going? I mean, where is Ghana? You know what I mean? So if you don't get the kid to be visiting Ghana or to know Ghana at a very tender age, chances are that, no, I want to stay here, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So cultural shock, cultural differences could always be. And then when you play in Europe, you are within a certain system, a football system, where the pathway is quite clear. I mean, you start early, U6, and then you go up. And then when the national selectors pick you from U12, U15, you start to play for the national team. Then all of a sudden, a country pops up and say that I want you to play. Yeah, it's quite difficult sometimes. It's understandable, but we have to be proactive. Like I said earlier, we have to catch the talents at a much younger age. And then people, I mean, footballers also have to be realistic about the opportunities that's available to them. So, for example, you are 26. You've not been offered a chance to play for Latvia, for example. And you think that Latvia will go to the World Cup or will go to the AFCON and come calling you. It will not happen. It will not happen. You know, I remember. No, I don't have to say this because I intend eventually to roll out my book and to tell some of the experiences that I've had. I mean, sometimes walking through the cold weather in Europe, walking through the rain, just to meet a potential talent to play for Ghana. And one day I'll tell my story about my relationship with Inaki Williams. That's not for today, but it's difficult when we don't reach out to players early or super talents early. But I think we've learned our lessons, like I said, lessons that particularly and individually I learned in the period leading to Qatar 2022 would never be repeated by my good self as a leader, and hoping that everything that we all know everything that we've all learned, the experiences we've gathered, ESCO management committees will put together for us to have a good outing at the next World Cup.
I'm going to wrap up with 2 or 3 questions. The first one is, next year will be exactly 20 years since Ghana played at the first World Cup. Since the anthem rang out, I remember very well, it was Hanover against Italy, then we lost that game, but I call it the summer we announced ourselves to the world. Within the Ghanaian sports journalism circle, there is a sense that the World Cup has not, in legacy terms, benefited this country as much. So there's been the 2006, there's been 2010, there's been 2014, and there's been 2022, and there will be 2026. What's your plan to ensure that the process of the tournament, Ghana will make north of $10 million for just being at the competition, goes beyond those on the pitch and benefits football in Ghana long term?
Well, I would wish I would not speak about what had happened yesteryears, especially in the application of inflows from World Cup.
So we can stick it to, for instance, what happened with 2022.
Yes. So, like I said, I wish I would not speak about yesteryears because I hold a totally different opinion on inflows as a result of the participation of the Black Stars or national team in international meets.
Okay.
However, under my leadership, we have a chance to do the legacy project in Pram Pram. I think that yesterday at the ESCO meeting, we crossed one more line just to make sure that we make a good impact. Our intention, and through our engagements with government, is to invest money in Pram Pram, and that's going to take off in the next few days or not weeks. And at least every child will wake up one day and say that, look, this happened as a result of Ghana's participation at the Mondial in Qatar 2022. Going forward, I am sure we'll have further engagements and we would agree on what to do with proceeds from the World Cup. But I think FIFA is getting clearer and clearer on which directives to give on funding that comes out of the World Cup. Because for FIFA, proceeds from football must go back to football. It's as simple as that. Different opinions are held by different people, but I'm sure that we would engage and we'll cross the bridge when the time comes. But I'm very, very positive that, first of all, Ghana will go to the Mondial as proud representatives of not only West Africa and Africa. We'll go and do justice to the platform that we've been offered. And when we come back home, eventually, there'll be happiness in our country.
There's an ongoing debate on social media about how much money goes to clubs who have players at the World Cup, and this logic that there should be a deliberate effort to pick a few players from the domestic league as part of the World Cup. I'm wondering what you make of that argument. Should we be deliberate about getting players from Ghanaian clubs into the competition,
Michael,
as a means of keeping some of the money here?
I don't want to influence the decision of the coach,
right,
in his attempt to select players for Ghana, because I'm very aware that whatever I say today could affect everybody. Yeah. Okay, it's important I keep quiet. But generally, I think that Ghana must always be represented by the best players. If the best 26 players can be found in the domestic league, so be it. If the best players can be found across the world, so be it. But Ghana deserve to be represented by the best players. And I'm looking forward to what the Tenkara team will do. I'm very curious about this. I think the entire country is expectant. First will be the provisional list of, I think, a squad of 55, which is by regulations of the competition, it has to be done. Once you go into the 55, chances are that you'll be in the final squad when it's pruned down. But let's see, I think that Otto has learned big lessons from the experiences we had in Qatar. He's had big experiences from the failed AFCON campaign, which we didn't make it. And he's had good experiences from this near excellent qualification campaign that he led. So at the end, I think we'll be the ultimate beneficiaries of what has happened. It's important that we all throw our weight and support behind the campaign. Going to the World Cup means a lot, not only to football, but to Ghana as a country. I'm maybe surprised that I've not received a phone call from the tourism minister already. Because I'm expecting him to call me.
Yeah, because it's a bigger tourism platform than anything else.
And let me just say it, I'm surprised that I've not received a phone call from the tourism minister. Because I expect she to call me. What's her name? GFA, and then the tourism authority just close by. I'm surprised they've not reached out to me.
Mates,
Yes. Because football is at the heart of what is going to happen. Football is going to be the strongest vehicle between now and next summer in promoting Ghana. And the tourism minister cannot sit and not reach out to me. It's not possible. So if she's listening, she better pick up the phone and call me. That's just on the lighter note. But I think that there's a lot that we have to share, that we have to give to Ghana. And all of us, be it the FA, the Tourism Authority, the minister, and my sports minister, who has been hardworking, to make sure that we put Ghana at that level of world recognition. I remember in Qatar when Ghana arrived, the headline was worldwide. Ghana arrives in style.
Yeah.
That took Ghana to millions of homes already. And I'm already asking myself, how would we arrive this time?
in America or in Canada or in Mexico.
But I think we are very excited. Everybody is energized. Michael, all of a sudden I'm having so many new friends. So many new friends.
Yeah.
People who've not called my phone for 4 years are calling. Just to quote Captain Stephen Appiah, they are calling.
The phones are calling.
But it's a good time for Ghana.
Yeah.
And I think that all of us will have to pat ourselves on our shoulders and our back for having delivered this ticket for Ghana.
You spoke about Otto Addo being a hero, which means I can guess what your answer to this question will be, but
it's already answered, so don't even ask.
Yeah, were you a bit surprised that there was even a conversation about his future after qualification?
For me, I was totally surprised. And I was asking myself, Ghana, what's wrong with us? I mean, as to how that conversation started is something that even surprises me up to today. Jose Mourinho, one of my favorite coaches, once upon a time said that go into the Guinness Book of Records, go and do your research and see whether you will find names of coaches and clubs who won trophies or those who played fine football. Quote unquote, Jose Mourinho. Months ago, when we failed woefully, I came out to own up because I led the charge. I lead this family. We have failed. And as a family, it was important for us to look inwardly, to be honest to ourselves, to speak to ourselves, and to find solutions. At the end, we said that the solution or the solutions did not solely lie in dismissal of coaches. And I've seen this over time in my long years as a practicing journalist or as a marketer or as a football administrator. I've seen it. And then we decided that, look, let's keep the head coach. Let's re-energize the technical team. Having engaged all the key stakeholders in this space. My good self, the head coach, the management committee. We traveled across the world. We met almost every Black Stars player. We met the Tenkara team members. We spoke, frankly. At the end of that soul-searching exercise, we were very clear as to what we had to do. So we brought some changes to the Tenkara team. Otoado comes back, plays 8 games, wins 7, and 1 draw. Is that not it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people are talking about the future of the coach. To coach Shatawale, a country called Ghana.
What would represent?
I mean, it's like when I heard the conversation, I was like, oh, where is Shatta? Come on, Shatta, call me. Call me. You know what I mean? I mean, a country called Ghana. I mean, what do we want as a country? What do we want? We want to qualify for the World Cup. We've qualified for the World Cup. You are discussing the coach. So what would you discuss if he didn't qualify for the World Cup?
The coach. I mean,
come on. I mean, this is perhaps one of the best outings for Ghana. And Michael, let me say this here and let it go on record. Even during our failed AFCON qualification attempt, the Black Stars played some amazing football. Go game by game. The Black Stars dominated almost all the games. We failed to put the ball in the net. I remember the game we lost in Kumasi against Angola.
Yeah, that was
top football.
That was an old one.
I mean, against Sudan, he had a crash. We killed Sudan. We couldn't score. Couldn't put the ball in the net. And nobody could see that this was a Black Stars team that was growing, that was being developed. Let's look at our campaign. Look at the football we played. Yes, Chad, we're not top. The away game.
Never had the races.
Yes, that's a fact. But I watched Ghana against Mali, a very competent Malian team, a very, very good Malian team. The coaches knew exactly what they had to do. Against Comoros, they knew exactly what they had to do. And they did it. Comoros played over 90 minutes with us here. I wonder how many goal-scoring chances they created over 90 minutes. And people are talking about the coach.
What would represent success for you in USA, Canada, Mexico?
Come on, Michael, I want to win the World Cup.
Is that realistic for you?
I want to win the World Cup.
Or you want to better?
I want to win the World Cup. I'm going to tell the coach, I want to win the World Cup.
Right. Are you saying that because
that should be the vision?
You hope that it will drive us forward a bit more?
Because you don't go to war and thinking about not finishing the war and not coming out as victors.
You know, that's my headline, though. We want to win the World Cup.
Yes. Just say that I want to win the World Cup. And I'm going to tell the coach, I want to win the World Cup. Go put up a team that has the quality to win me the World Cup. That's it.
All right, Kurt. Thank you very, very much. And job well done with the World Cup.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support.
Hello, good morning and welcome to yet another edition of Sports Daily Live here on TV3. And as you saw in the last hour or so, there was an exclusive with the GFA president and the CAF second vice president, Kurt Edwin Simeon Okraku, who talked about Ghana's World Cup qualification, dual nationals joining the national team and a lot more. But meanwhile, Otoado, who is the head coach of the Black Stars, has stated that while players showing interest in Ghana is positive, commitment is the top priority, and it will be difficult for those who previously rejected the national team. Now, he emphasized that the decision to call up dual nationals who have expressed interest after Ghana's World Cup qualification will be made on a case-by-case basis, prioritizing players who with proven loyalty and readiness to play for the country.
I mean, in general, we will look at each case one by one, and without naming or giving names, you know, there are players which we have been chasing since I was a coach in 2021, who didn't reply to our call or didn't want to come, and it's very, very difficult, you know, to say in general, this is what we do. So we have to see each case by case. And it's a different thing. If we haven't approached you and now you want to come, then we have been approaching you all the way and you said no, but now that as we are at the World Cup, you want to come. And I think Ghana should always have a certain pride also as a country. I think also that we need to go on each player and to check the commitment, which is very, very crucial, because we have a very good unity, and I definitely don't want to destroy this with bringing players in who don't have the commitment. So commitment has to be first, and then from there we will see if anyone shows in the next 6, 7, 8 months from his performance, but also from commitments that he wants to play for Ghana, then we are always open.
That was Otuado, the head coach of the Black Stars. Now, joining me in studio is my colleague, Solomon Amankwa. Solomon, this particular past hour, we've seen an exclusive with E.S Okraku. We've seen that of Otuado also talking about dual nationals. But what are your key takeaways from that exclusive with E.S Okraku?
Well, I think it's a top job that has been done by the general manager of MG Sports, Michael Oteje. These are some of the conversation that spark a national conversation. And I think that with Simon Okraku, since he's assumed office as the president of the Ghana Football Association in 2019, he's not really had it's like so rosy. It's been a party patch for him. At the point, the national teams were struggling, our clubs were struggling, but then in recent times, at least we are seeing progress with regards to the introduction of the Catch Them Young policy. Then again, we've seen the investment being made in women's football. At least we've seen progress with our youth football, then with the national team, especially the Black Stars. So clearly there's been an improvement in various phases of our football. What I take the biggest of it all is Black Stars qualifying to the World Cup, and obviously seeing Ghanaians who were born outside Ghana wanting to represent the nation. I've always said this conversation would always come up, and I was happy Michael Oteje made examples in 2007 when Quincy Owusu-Abeye was drafted into the squad. We've seen how Kevin Prince Boateng got himself into the squad, and anytime there is a major competition, Ghanaian players who were born outside Ghana would always want to come up. But in situations of this nature, we don't need to attach emotions in having these conversations. We need to go by the fact that, one, these players might have a certain training which is outside the cultures of Ghana. So before they decide to accept to be here, they need to go through certain phases. And it is a very difficult thing to do. Bill, you might be with another person today, yes, but then you would want to get married to another person.
Yes.
You don't just get up and take the decision that I want to marry this. After being with this person, it will take gradual process. It will take a longer period to come into that conclusion. And so these issues of some Ghanaian players we've approached, they didn't want to come and all that, if we attach emotions to it, we will not get to the root of it. If you look at the players, we need to, first of all, look at their quality. What is commitment? I'm here. I can play. I can kick really well. I have that commitment to play for Ghana. But if I'm not good, I'm not good. Somebody might not, at the start, they don't have that commitment. But then the person is good. Now they have shown interest to play for Ghana. Why should we have to drag, here and there before we are able to assemble the best of players? The World Cup is not for pageantry. It is for serious nations who want to make impact at the World Cup. So if a country like Ghana really have top quality talent across Europe, and these players had shown interest to come and play for Ghana, I think that we should move away from sentimental argument and look at what these players brings on board when they are brought in. But I think that Kurt, in his last 5 years as the president of the Ghana Football Association, yes, he's not been 100%, but at least from where we left off in 2018,
yes,
after the announced expose,
yes,
then came COVID-19,
yes,
and where we have gotten to in 2025, I think that we've seen bigger progress, but there is more to do, and I think we can do it.
Indeed, a lot spoken by my colleague Solomon Amankwa on the Kurt situation and the Kurt interview, and also the situation on the dual nationals who are looking forward to joining the Black Stars. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have a lot more here on Sports Daily.
In the beginning, life feels heavy. But then,
Welcome back from the break. This is still Sports Daily Live here on TV3. Now, the Danish Superliga side FC Nordsjælland have confirmed that rising Ghanaian midfielder Caleb Urenchi has signed a contract extension that will keep him at the club until the summer of 2030. The 19-year-old has quickly become one of the club's standout young players, already amassing 29 league appearances since breaking into their senior team last year. Urenchi's consistent performances have seen him being recognized and rewarded with 6 caps for the Black Stars. And of course, Caleb Urenchi's numbers with FC Nordsjælland include 31 games, 2,364 minutes and 3 goals since playing for the senior team in the 2024-25 campaign. Now, Solomon, we've seen the likes of Kudus, Kamaldeen and Esnyama, all of them pass through that Nordsjælland system. Is this the best decision that Caleb Urenchi has made?
Obviously, yes. I think that from Right to Dream to FC Nordsjælland, this has been the trajectory. Most of these young talent uses that Danish club to build their confidence in the European settings and, of course, move to bigger clubs. And we've seen how impactful Nordsjælland had been, especially to Ghanaian players. For Caleb Urenchi, I think that for a 19-year-old in his first season, making about 29 appearances for the senior team, and of course, topping it up with games in their Super Cup and all that, and then a call-up at the age of 19 to the senior national team when even big players come in and falter, commanding first in play as the right back, when we know naturally he is an attacking midfielder. It tells you the kind of quality he possesses, and he can only grow and become better. I think that we saw Otuado introduce him in the middle of the park when we played against Comoros, and clearly, it tells us that when you have a proper training, you go through proper academic system, you get to build your confidence, you get to build your craft in a better setting. And I think that is what we are reaping from Caleb Urenchi. There is more to come. He's just 19. He's not even reached that peak age where you'd expect more. But what he has done at age 19 with FC Northern, scoring goals, creating goals, and of course, making himself available for selection. I think that there is a bigger future ahead of him.
Indeed, a bigger future ahead for Caleb Urenchi, who will stay at Northern until the summer of 2030. Let's come home to the Ghana Premier League, which resumes this weekend. Heart of Lions kickstarts the weekend fixtures with a home game against Basake Holy Stars at home. Now, head coach of the Lions, Bashir Hayford, says his team are looking to put behind the defeat of BBN Gold Stars in the last match day.
We are prepared for so many matches. The matches ahead, and so we take it one by one. And the match has been brought to Friday. So the preparation we did is what we are rehearsing. So we are prepared for this match because we lost our last match. So we have to put in more effort to get the point. We are trying to make sure that at least all the home matches.
That was Bashir for the head coach of Pando Heart of Lions. Now, Ivan Sadote, who is the coach of Holy Stars, is confident that his side can pick their first win of the season at Pando on Friday night.
Not scoring a goal from 5 games, all that I will say is, we are struggling although, but I hope things will get better as we keep marching forward. Come tomorrow, we are into business. I hope to at least get a point from Pando, or if possible, grab the maximum point tomorrow. Because
Evans Adote, the head coach of Basake Holy Stars. Now, Heart of Oak will be at home against the reigning champions BBN Gold Stars, and their head coach Didi Dramani is demanding continuous improvement as the Phobians look to climb to the summit of the league.
I think that we have tried always to be very modest, and then to try as much as possible to be very humble enough in terms of trying to always improve on our current state into the future. And so the mood, as you said, is a cordial mood. We are very focused in what is ahead of us. That encounter, the lessons, the learning parts, and then the challenges have been taken care of, and then we're moving ahead. So I think that it is always good to live in the present and then to look into the future. And so in the present, all that we have to continuously do is to try to improve in our various aspects of our play, and then also improve.
That was the head coach of Heart of Oak, Masood Didi Dramani. Let's look at the fixtures for the weekend. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, Basake Holy Stars will be taking on Pando Heart of Lions, Aduana versus Dreams, Heart of Oak versus Gold Stars, Karela versus Bechem United, Mediama versus Wedu All Blacks, Nations versus 11 Wonders, Samatex versus Hoho United, and Young Apostles versus Brekum Chelsea. Now, Solomon, which of these matches are you really looking forward to?
Well, I think the biggest game of the weekend, Hearts of Oak at the Accra Sports Stadium against BBN Gold Stars. Very tricky encounter. The last 2 meetings between Gold Stars and Hearts of Oak at the Accra Sports Stadium had all gone in favor of BBN Gold Stars. They've won 1-0 in the last 2 games. And Hearts of Oak are yet to score a goal against Gold Stars when they play at home in the last 2 games. So it is always going to be very difficult, especially for Gold Stars, knowing very well that they are meeting a Hearts of Oak team that are yet to lose a game or even concede a goal. So it is looking quite tricky for Gold Stars. But this is a game being played at the Accra Sports Stadium where Hoho United and the Lions had come and then pick points. So you expect that BBN Gold Stars can come in and then add up to the woes at the Accra Sports Stadium, especially when they come in with a 100% record in their last 2 games against Hearts.
Right, so that Hearts of Oak game versus BBN Gold Stars, one to look forward to. But of course, on Friday, it will be Pando Heart of Lions versus Basake Holy Stars. And both of these teams will be looking forward to a victory. Now, before we do go, Asante Kotoko will be playing against Wydad Casablanca later today, seeking to bounce back from that 1-goal deficit that they had from the first leg, which happened at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday. Now, Solomon, what are Kotoko's chances of turning this thing around for you?
It is 10 against 90. Let's be honest. Yes, it is football. Kotoko can go in there and pull in a surprise. But in all fairness, I think that Wydad Athletic Club really do have quality in their setup. They are playing at the Mohammed V Stadium, where their heart is, where their fans will throw up in their numbers, and they will come cheer them on. And I do not think that they would want to stay at home and get eliminated by Asante Kotoko. But then it is football. Karim Zito, last season with Dreams FC, went to Zamalek in Egypt, picked a point, and then came to lose to Zamalek in the semi-final. He went to JS Kabylie and beat them. He went to Club Africain and beat them in Algeria the last time out. So clearly, he has a way of playing some of these away games. But then when you're coming up against a Moroccan side, Asante Kotoko had always struggled to play against, especially teams from Morocco. It becomes very difficult to pinpoint that Kotoko could go there and get, that surprising scoreline, a 2-1, a 2-0 to see them qualify to the group stage. The last Ghanaian team that went to Morocco came back with 6-1. And so we are only looking at how Asante Kotoko will manage themselves in this game, that maybe they might lose, but it will not be that avalanche of goals, it will not be that humiliating, it will not be that disgusting scoreline. But I think that their players are focused. I saw how energetic they trained yesterday, and how they want to approach the game. There's not going to be Mohamed Kamara input, but equally Aziz Haruna Dari will come in with huge experience and expectations. All the players will pick motivation from the fact that they are playing against some of Africa's biggest clubs. And so in going into such games, you motivate yourselves even before the game starts. And I think that we are going to see maybe the best of Asante Kotoko. But I cannot stick my neck out and say Asante Kotoko will go in there and win. When they win, it is football. They have worked for it. But on paper, it is 90% for WAC to qualify and 10% for Asante Kotoko.
90% for WAC, 10% for Asante Kotoko. And Kotoko have a lot to do to bounce back from this particular deficit. Now, that's it for today's edition of Sports Daily. For highlights and exclusive extras, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok at FreeSportsGH. Until next time, stay active, stay inspired, and have a fantastic day. My name is Bill Ishem.